What we are taught as business owners is to build value, have a content calendar, have a website, get videos, make pictures, right? Have user generated content. We're taught all of these things, and in reality, they don't get us anywhere. What actually ends up happening is you end up just making all of these things, and they look like shiny objects and they look great. They look like the gold that's going to set your business free. What ends up happening is you take those pieces of gold that you thought would be so valuable for your business, like user generated content, like a video, like pictures and creatives, like having a great looking piece of content. You end up taking that cool looking piece of gold, you put it on your business, and it turns into dirt. It just turns into nothing, and it does nothing for your business. It does nothing besides it being there as a thing that you've created. And that's a huge problem that business owners are running into every single day, is that they're making all this stuff and it looks awesome when it's not yours. When it's someone else's, it looks awesome and you think you need to be doing these things. But in reality, like I said, you take it, it looks like a piece of gold, you put it into your business, you do it for yourself, and it just becomes a thing that you've made that doesn't actually help move the needle in your business. And by moving the needle, I mean getting more leads, getting more customers, generating more revenue, and creating more profit. So what's the flip side to this? And how can we move away from being obsessed with making great content and instead be obsessed with actually growing your business and moving it in the right direction? All this stuff is great, and there is a time and a place for it, but it is not something to be focused 100% of your time on. No one really has a funnel because they're focusing on all those things. No one has a process that they can bring people through, that they can start them up at the top of the funnel, move them down in a certain series of steps, and actually turn them into a lead or a customer or a potential customer or a qualified lead, even at that. No one has that anymore because they're too busy worried about their content calendar or editing a super cool piece of content, or worrying about the spelling on a creative, or worrying about what the copy reads like or the grammar of it. That stuff is important and it can be useful, but it's not going to move the needle in your business. I guarantee it. So having a funnel, not many people have that. And if they do, it's a little bit sporadic. It's not organized into a system that can actually bring you results. And what the gurus end up telling you is, hey, you just need to spend more money. You need to either spend more money on ads to make this work. You need to spend more money on building a website. You need to spend more money on a different software, spend more money on your team. And I keep coming back to this. That stuff is very, very important. I think ads are an amazing tool to grow your business, and every single business owner should be leveraging them. But the answer to make your ads work is not just spend more money. That's not how it works. That's not how you can optimize what you're doing and go from just putting stuff and making things and putting stuff out there to something that's actually generating you great business. So here's what you should have. What you should have are proven assets. How can you generate and create these proven assets, and how can you even call them proven assets in the first place? Well, the key is to do a lot of different testing and to do something called CRO, conversion rate optimization. If you view everything you do in your business as conversion rate optimization and doing it quickly, you're going to just greatly improve the success you have in your business. I've seen it in multiple companies that I've worked with. The people that do not mind what the image looks like on their ad, the people that don't mind what color it looks like, the people who are not focused on their website or focused on their brand, they're focused on conversion rate optimization and testing as many things as they possibly can. Those are the people that are winning. I've seen people go from, multi six figures a year and breaking into that 7-figure mark. For me, when I really started focusing on conversion rate optimization, it helped propel me into 7 figures and past that. And now as we're doing more stuff internally and focusing on conversion rate optimization, it allows us to test more things faster, and we get great data from it, and we don't spend a ton of money. I do a lot of stuff with paid ads, so a lot of this is going to be related to that, but you can apply this to really anything you're doing. If you're doing organic outreach, engaging in a Facebook group, maybe you're posting YouTube content. I think the biggest thing I've learned from listening to other people and myself is that don't worry if it's not perfect, especially the first couple times through. I would rather have something work that gets me views, likes, leads, subscribers, qualified leads, booked appointments, and customers that isn't perfect than have something that does nothing for me and it looks really pretty, right? And people just say, wow, this looks like a great piece of content. Like, that's great, but that doesn't pay the bills and that doesn't grow my business, which is a big passion for mine, right? And everyone, business owner, we want to grow our business. That's the bottom line of what we want to do, right? So making sure you have proven assets. In order to do that, you need to be geared and focused towards conversion rate optimization and speed testing. It's super, super important. So how does this kind of look like? And what are the pieces that you need to have deployed in your business to make this work? Well, the first thing is you need to have a feedback loop. You need to be willing and understand that you're going to test something, you're going to get a result, and then you're going to go back to the beginning of your testing period with that new idea or result or asset that you came up with and test it again with that small variation based on what you learned the first time. And you're going to be constantly having a feedback loop in your business. That's what you need to have, is that feedback loop. And the really big thing here as well is you need to have an MVP, a minimum viable product. An MVP is one of the most important things you can have in your business. And it's a lot of people want to skip steps. So let me just explain what this means. I want you to picture 3 just small little pictures here, right? If you're watching this, you'll see this. If you're listening to this, just picture this with me. You have one which is just a normal scooter, not an electric scooter, a normal scooter. And that's your minimum viable product. At the end of the day, if you think of a scooter and you think of, let's say, a Lamborghini, a scooter and a Lamborghini can, in reality, get you the exact same result, which is getting you from point A to point B. Sure, the scooter will take longer. You'll be more tired if you're doing the scooter, right? You'll be sweating. You won't have air conditioning or any of that good stuff. But the bottom line is the scooter will help you get from your house to the gym if you really wanted it to, right? It's a minimum viable product. The minimum viable product is what is the minimum kind of outline that I can have in place? What's the minimum thing that I can have that gets me the result that I want, right? A scooter is a minimum viable product. And this is how I want you to view your funnel and your marketing systems, is you at very least want to have a minimum viable product. And you basically want every single section of your funnel to be at a bare minimum, a minimum viable product, right? You want your if we're talking about ads, you want your ad creative to just be MVP. You want your landing page MVP. You want everything to just be the minimum viable product that will get you the result. It's okay if it doesn't look, sound, and feel like the Lamborghini just yet. It will, but you need to start with the minimum viable product. So from there, it goes from a scooter, and then maybe the next evolution after your feedback loop, once you figured out what worked and what didn't, then it turns into a motorcycle. Like, great, I've turned my scooter into a motorcycle because I posted 10 pieces of content this week. They were very specific to my audience, and I figured out that this piece of content got more engagement than this one, so now I'm going to repost it in a different way. And that turns into your motorcycle. Or let's say for your ad, you posted 3 different pieces of creatives or 3 versions of copy, and you figure out that version 2 worked the best. You go back and you iterate that. You have that feedback loop to make it better. I used an example, or last week we spoke about upsells. You could do the exact same thing here. What are you learning from the upsell? How is it doing the minimum thing that you want it to do, the bare minimum? How is that upsell doing the bare minimum? And how can you turn that and up-level it from a scooter upsell to a motorcycle upsell, right? Then same thing, you take it from a motorcycle to a small car, right? Just a normal car. It's a little bit better than a motorcycle because you're enclosed, you're more protected, right? Maybe it's got some air conditioning. It's cool. Same thing, feedback loop. Keep doing that feedback loop, and then you're going to get that to that Lamborghini level where it does exactly what you want it to do. It is as optimized, it's clean, it's polished, and it goes faster than any of the other things. The point is that Lamborghini wouldn't have been able to exist without you starting from the scooter. I'm a big car guy, and I think this just speaks a ton for even me being into cars. If you just go back and look at the oldest Lamborghini made, there are design cues from the oldest Lamborghini, from the very first one made to the one now. And the one that's been made now, let's say like the newest Lamborghini out there, wouldn't have been able to happen without that first one. And you need to take it slow. And that kind of brings us to the last thing here is, what are the actions and takeaways? What can you go out and do this week or in the next couple of days to really leverage what I've been talking about here today. And the first one is to test more things fast and be okay with things not being perfect. It is much more beneficial to you and your business to test more things faster than it to be perfect and it for you to take longer, right? No one is going to care if things look a little bit weird. No one's going to care if things don't look perfect. The people that do care, you don't even want them in your business, right? The second thing is you need to start to track more. You're going to be posting more things. You're going to be trying more ads. You're going to be doing more stuff, but make sure you track it. Make sure you set up a system, whether it's a very simple Google Sheet or a Google Doc, or maybe you just text yourself and say, hey, today I posted this video. Here is what I'm hoping to happen, right? Almost like going through the scientific method like you would in school. You would have your scientific journal. I may be completely missing this. But you would write down your hypothesis, right? You would write down the test that you're doing, the hypothesis, when you're going to check on it next. And then once you came back and checked on it, you would write down the results. You could literally have it as simple as that. And finally, go slow so that you can go fast. Going back to this image here and just for everyone else to visualize, if you're listening and not watching, the scooter to the motorcycle to the car to the Lamborghini, it didn't happen quickly that we went from scooter to Lamborghini, but we did each one of these steps incrementally, and each step of this process is just as important as the last, because the motorcycle wouldn't exist with a scooter, and the Lamborghini would not have existed without the motorcycle and the car or the scooter, and it keeps going back there, is that go slow so that you can go fast, right? And that's basically everything I've got for you guys this week. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure that you implement this stuff and you just take a huge benefit from this and actually start to not focus on value. Like, it's very important to give value, right? But you're told that's all to do. Just give value, customers will come, right? Of course you want to do that. But the problem is you'll give value and then you won't have something that's optimized to get you conversions from that value, right? Having a content calendar, great stuff, but does it get you conversions, right? Having a pretty piece of content, right? A highly edited video, great, but does it get you conversions? Come back to that question. If it gets you conversions and if it gets you the result you want in your business, it could be leads, it could be sales, it could be calls or opportunities. What brings you the biggest thing that can move the needle in your business? I hope you guys enjoyed this one. The kind of show deck, the pitch deck here, this isn't a pitch deck, the show deck and the show slides, will be right below this for you guys to download so you can check it out. So feel free to do that as well. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.